A very good evening and welcome to the news at 6, where we get you the day's top developing stories. Our focus, of course, still remains on Bihar and the developments there. And apart from that, lots making news. Let's get you the headlines. Nitish Kumar is sworn in as Bihar Chief Minister for the 6th time. BJP leader Sushil Kumar Modi takes oath as Deputy Chief Minister. Prime Minister Modi congratulates Nitish Kumar, saying that he looks forward to work together for Bihar's prosperity. External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj tells Rajya Sabha that the 39 Indians missing in Iraq will not be declared dead till concrete evidence is found, reiterates that government will not abandon its search for them. BJP members corner former UPA government on the Samjhauta Express blast case, state that the Pakistan-based terror outfit Lashkar-e-Toiba and Simi jointly carried out the blast. Congress asks Home Ministry to confirm the charge. And opposition members protest against incidents of lynching and the expulsion of 6 Congress members in Lok Sabha, demand immediate discussion on the issue. Top story of the day, JDU President Nitish Kumar on Thursday took oath as the Chief Minister of Bihar, with the BJP State Unit Chief Sushil Modi also taking oath as the Deputy Chief Minister. An NDA government is back in the state after 4 years. Nitish Kumar resigned last evening from the post over a CBI FIR against his then deputy and ally Lalu Prasad Yadav's son Tejasvi Yadav. Here's a report.
JDU Chief Nitish Kumar took oath as the Chief Minister of Bihar on Thursday, less than 24 hours after he stepped down from the post. It was the 6th time that Kumar was sworn in as the Bihar Chief Minister. BJP leader Sushil Kumar Modi also took oath as the Deputy Chief Minister. They were administered the oath of office by Governor Kesri Nath Tripathi. After being sworn in, Nitish said the decision to part ways with the RJD and join hands with the BJP was taken in the interest of Bihar. Sushil Modi also said the development of the state will be the party's top priority. Kumar will now have to prove his majority in the assembly within 2 days of the swearing in.
हमने जो भी निर्णय लिया है कल भी कहा था, बिहार के हित में होगा, बिहार के लोगों के हित में होगा, वही निर्णय लेंगे और बिहार के विकास के लिए, बिहार के लोगों के हित में, न्याय के साथ विकास के लिए, तरक्की के लिए हमने सब लोगों ने मिलकर ये निर्णय किया है।
विकास और विकास यह पहले भी प्राथमिकता थी और आगे भी यही प्राथमिकता रहेगी। बिहार के प्रत्येक जीवन के क्षेत्र में विकास और बिहार को ऊंचाइयों पर ले जाना है। जो कृषि का क्षेत्र हो, चाहे स्किल का क्षेत्र हो या इंडस्ट्रीज हो, हर क्षेत्र में बिहार देश के किसी राज्य से पीछे न रहे।
Nitish Kumar resigned his post on Wednesday night after falling out with alliance partner RJD over corruption charges against his deputy and Lalu Yadav's son Tejasvi. After the JDU walked out of the Grand Alliance, the BJP stepped in to support its former ally. With Sushil Modi taking oath, the BJP comes back to power in the state after 4 years. In a tweet, Prime Minister Narendra Modi congratulated both Nitish Kumar and Sushil Modi. The PM said he looked forward to working together for Bihar's prosperity.
Mr. Nitish Kumar is absolutely clear on certain principles which he believes need to inform politics and public life. One of them is zero tolerance towards corruption and probity in politics.
नीतीश जी ने भ्रष्टाचार के खिलाफ जो लड़ाई लड़ी और जो साहस दिखाया, उसके बाद भारतीय जनता पार्टी का स्पष्ट मत था कि बिहार में स्टेबिलिटी आनी चाहिए, स्थिरता आनी चाहिए और किसी भी कारणों से अस्थिर नहीं होना चाहिए और इसके साथ साथ हम चाहते हैं कि बिहार का विकास हो।
The JDU had walked out of the NDA in July 2013, ending its 17-year-old alliance after Modi was nominated head of the BJP's campaign committee for the 2014 Lok Sabha elections. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha Television.
Well, party leaders of the erstwhile Grand Alliance in Bihar reacted strongly against Nitish Kumar's move to join the NDA. The Congress accused Nitish of opportunism and treachery, while RJD chief Lalu Prasad claimed all CBI cases against him and his family were part of conspiracy hatched by the BJP and Nitish Kumar. Lalu's son Tejasvi Yadav also met Bihar governor to register his protest over Nitish being invited to form the government ahead of RJD, which is the single largest party in the assembly.
Treachery with people's mandate. That's how the Congress described Nitish Kumar's alliance with the BJP in Bihar. Stating that he was aware of what he termed as a conspiracy, Party Vice President Rahul Gandhi claimed he was surprised by the opportunism shown by Nitish Kumar.
हमें मालूम था कि 3-4 महीने से प्लानिंग चली। देखिए, हिंदुस्तान की राजनीति में यही प्रॉब्लम है, अपने स्वार्थ के लिए व्यक्ति कुछ भी कर जाता है। कोई मतलब नियम नहीं है, कोई क्रेडिबिलिटी नहीं है, सत्ता के लिए कुछ भी कर देते हैं।
Other Congress leaders reminded Nitish Kumar about his promise to never join hands with the BJP and the anti-communal goals of the Mahagathbandhan.
जो लोग सेक्युलरिज्म के नाम से वोट लिए वो फिर बीजेपी की तरफ भाग गए, ये बड़ा दुर्दैव है। और उनको ये मालूम था कि गठबंधन में कौन से पार्टियां कैसे कैसे हैं। जब मालूम था और मालूम रहे कि आपने सब सूझबूझ के ही ये किया था, तो तोड़ने की आवश्यकता नहीं थी।
महागठबंधन से धोखा करके, बिहार की जनता के साथ धोखा करके, भारतीय जनता पार्टी और संघ के साथ जो समझौता उन्होंने किया है, ना ये नैतिकता है, ना ये आदर्श है, और ना जयप्रकाश नारायण कभी इसको स्वीकार करते, ना महात्मा गांधी करते, ना लोहिया जी करते।
Accusing Nitish Kumar of deception, RJD chief Lalu Prasad claimed the CBI cases against him and his family were part of a conspiracy hatched by the BJP and Nitish Kumar.
नीतीश कुमार को मैं चार्ज करता हूं कि मिल के भाजपा से सीबीआई, ईडी, इनकम टैक्स का केस करवाया। ये सब बात हम लोग जानते हैं कि हम ये करते हैं। हम सुशील मोदी को फिक्स किया गया कि आप रोज रोज पब्लिक परसेप्शन में लालू का इमेज खराब करते रहो, घोपेला बोलो, इधर डेमोरलाइज करो लालू को। और उसका काम था, उन लोगों का काम था कि हम लोग केस करते हैं।
Fissures were evident in JDU ranks as well, with party MP Anwar Ali questioning Nitish Kumar's decision.
नीतीश कुमार जी ने अपनी आत्मा की आवाज पर भाजपा के साथ जाने का फैसला किया है, लेकिन मेरा जमीर यह गवारा नहीं करता, इसकी इजाजत नहीं देता कि मैं उनके इस कदम का समर्थन करूं। मौका मिला पार्टी में तो मैं अपनी बात को रखूंगा।
RJD and Congress workers also held protests against Nitish Kumar at various places. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Meanwhile, there was fresh trouble for RJD chief Lalu Prasad on Thursday, with the Enforcement Directorate filing a case of money laundering against him and his family members. The Railway Hotel's allotment case dates back to the UPA tenure. The Central Probe Agency took cognizance of a CBI FIR in this regard to initiate the move. The case cites various sections of the Prevention of Money Laundering Act. The ED will now investigate the alleged proceeds generated by the crime through shell companies. The case dates back to when Lalu Prasad was the Railways Minister for the UPA government. In more national news, 3 militants were killed in North Kashmir's Bandipora district as the army foiled an infiltration bid along the line of control in Gurez sector. The encounter between the security forces and militants took place after Indian troops monitoring the area noticed a suspicious movement along the line of control. According to army spokesperson, the operation to locate more militants is still underway. The identity of the killed militants is not yet known. National Security Advisor Ajit Doval is in China to attend the meeting of top security officials of BRICS nations that starts today. He's expected to hold talks with Chinese State Councillor Yang Jiechi on the ongoing Sikkim standoff. Doval is also scheduled to call on President Xi Jinping on Friday, along with fellow top security officials of the BRICS countries. Ahead of the visit, Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson reiterated that no meaningful dialogue can be held with India until it can unconditionally withdrew its troops from the Doklam area. Both Indian and Chinese troops are locked in a face-off in the Tri-Junction area for more than a month since the Indian troops stopped the Chinese army from building a road in the area. A quick break here. Up next, we'll get you more national and international news. Stay with us.
गा रही है पवन ठहर के बोले समय अमर है देश मेरा
Welcome back. External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj told the Upper House on Thursday that the 39 Indians missing in Iraq will not be declared dead until concrete evidence is obtained. Swaraj also said that the sources who gave the government confidence of not abandoning the search include a head of state and a foreign minister of another country.
सदन के फर्श पर खड़े होकर कहना चाहती हूँ, माफी मांगने की बजाय मैं दोहराना चाहूंगी कि जब तक मेरे पास कोई सबूत उनके मारे जाने का नहीं है, मैं उन्हें डेड डिक्लेयर नहीं करूंगी, मैं उनको मृत घोषित नहीं करूंगी। उपसभापति जी, बिना सबूत के किसी को मारा जाना कह देना, वो मर के कह देना, ये व्यक्तिगत तौर पर पाप है और सरकार के लिए गैर जिम्मेदाराना है। इसलिए ना तो मैं गैर जिम्मेदाराना काम करूंगी और ना मैं पाप करूंगी।
External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj denying that she misled Parliament on the fate of the 39 Indians abducted in Iraq 3 years ago. Criticizing the opposition for politicizing the matter, she maintained there was no proof of the abducted Indians being alive or dead.
अगर निशान सिंह का भाई ये कहता है कि मेरा भाई रात को 2:30 बजे मेरे से 17 तारीख को बात की है, उसकी माँ कहती है और वो भी टेलीविजन पे कहती है कि 17 तारीख को मेरी बात हुई है, तो कैसे आप यकीन कर रहे हैं कि हरजीत मसीह ठीक है? मिसलीड क्यों कर रहा है, इसका कारण मैंने बताया। आज कह रही हूँ और कुछ दिन रुक जाइए, ये रहस्य उजागर होगा कि वो कैसे, इसलिए वो मिसलीड कर रहा है। आपने एक एजेंडा सेट किया है कि अपने मंत्री को झूठा साबित करेंगे और हरजीत मसीह को सच्चा साबित करेंगे। ये पॉलिटिकल है, ये पॉलिटिकल एजेंडा है, ये राजनीतिक एजेंडा है।
Swaraj informed the House that the group was taken to a jail from the Mosul airfield. They were then put to work on construction, farming and then taken to Badush jail in 2016. Since then, there's been no contact.
2016 के शुरू में उनको बदरूस प्रिजन ले गए, ये हमारी अंतिम जानकारी है। उसके बाद हमारा कोई संपर्क नहीं। बदरूस ले जाने की बात वो 2016 के शुरू की कर रहा। ये जो तस्वीर दिखाई जा रही है कि बदरूस जेल ढह गई, ये 3 महीने पहले की बता रहे हैं। 2016 के शुरू का मतलब है 1.25 साल 1.5 साल की बात, पहले की बात है।
Congress members accused the government of constantly changing the goalpost on the issue since media reports showed the Badush jail building had been demolished. They also inquired about the authenticity of the government sources.
मगर मैं ये बात क्यों कहा मैंने मिसलीड कर रही, एक वहाँ आई विटनेस था सर, जैसे मैडम ने अभी कहा कि मैं मिसलीड क्यों करूंगी, what do I gain out of it? That is exactly what I am asking her. What does Harjeet Masih, a man who was along with those 39 people, what would he get by saying they have been killed in front of my eyes? She said, don't believe this man, you believe on my sources. I have 4 to 5 very authentic sources. मैं ये पूछना चाहता हूँ 3 साल में आप अपने सोर्स का नाम बताएंगे?
The Indians who worked with the construction company in Baghdad were kidnapped after Iraq's second largest city, Mosul, fell to the Islamic State. Harjeet Masih, the only Indian survivor, claims that all captives were taken to a forest and shot dead. Iraqi Foreign Minister Ibrahim Al-Jafari had said there was no substantial evidence on the actual fate of the 39 Indians. Kriti Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
BJP members accuse the Congress of betraying the country in the case of the Samjhauta Express blast. The ruling party members also slammed the Congress for coining the term Hindu terror. The Congress, however, claimed that it was an effort by the present regime to save the accused in the blast.
BJP members cornered the former UPA government on the Samjhauta Express blast. BJP MP Shiv Pratap Shukla said that Pakistan-based terror outfit Lashkar-e-Taiba and Simi had jointly carried out the blast.
डेविड कोलमैन हेडली ने यह भी कहा कि पाकिस्तान की उसमें पूरी तौर पर संलिप्तता थी, उसमें सिमी का और अब्दुल रज्जाक का नाम लिया था। अब्दुल रज्जाक के नाम के आधार पर उसने कहा था कि लश्कर-ए-तैयबा जो वहां पाकिस्तानी है जिसको पाकिस्तान भी मदद करता है और सिमी ये दोनों मिलकर के इस घटना को अंजाम दिए थे। सबसे महत्वपूर्ण बात यह है कि उस समय एनआईए के पास ये सारी की सारी जानकारियां 2008 में थी, लेकिन एनआईए और तत्कालीन सरकार ने पाकिस्तान को इस पाप से मुक्त कर दिया।
Since 2008, media has been carrying this in allusions, but first time we have actually seen video evidence of narco tests. I am saying that this house has a right to know whether it's a fact that there is a videotape of narco tests conducted by the government and the Home Minister knew about it and did not order on that basis. So let there be at least a calling attention.
The Congress hit back, asking the Home Ministry to authenticate the charges leveled by the BJP members.
देश में जो वो सारे आरोपी जो बम ब्लास्ट में अक्यूज्ड हैं, उनको छुपाने के लिए ये प्रयास किया जा रहा है। ऑथेंटिक आपने जो वीडियो के आधार पर जो टाइम्स लेट सुब्रमण्य स्वामी एसोसिएट यहाँ बैठे लोगों ने टाइम्स लेट सुब्रमण्य स्वामी एसोसिएट ऑथेंटिसिटी होना चाहिए।
The 2007 Samjhauta Express bombing was a terrorist attack that occurred around midnight on the 18th of February 2007 on the Samjhauta Express, a bi-weekly train service that connected Delhi and Lahore. Bombs set off in two carriages filled with passengers, which killed 68 people and left dozens injured. Kriti Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj apprised the upper house about the issue of stapled visa to Arunachal residents by China. She said the issue had been raised in every bilateral meeting at various levels with China. She also asserted that there was no quid pro quo with China on the issue of the Tibetan people suffering and the stapled visas being given to Arunachal Pradesh residents by Beijing.
पूरी दृढ़ता के साथ आपको ये बताना चाहती हूँ कि अरुणाचल के स्टेपल वीज़ा का मसला हर बायलैटरल मीटिंग में, चाहे वो मेरे स्तर पर हुई हो, चाहे प्रधानमंत्री जी के स्तर पर हुई हो, हमारे द्वारा उठाया गया।
Now to Lok Sabha, and opposition members protested over incidents of lynching and also the expulsion of 6 Congress members from the House for 5 days. They also raised slogans against Parliamentary Affairs Minister Anant Kumar. During Zero Hour, Congress leader Mallikarjun Kharge said that a number of innocent people have been killed in lynching incidents in the country and demanded immediate discussion on the issue. Leaders of other parties also demanded a discussion on the issue.
ये मुद्दा महत्व क्या है? ये जो जनता का मुद्दा है, इनोसेंट लोगों को यहाँ पर मारा गया है, इनके लिए लड़ने के लिए हम तैयार थे.
So I will approach to the government also in response to the appeal from the opposition. Let this discussion start immediately and let it, if possible, can start today itself also. And mob lynching issue is the most important issue. Trinamool Congress has given their notice also. And do you want to take part in that debate all out?
पिछले 2 सप्ताह से हम एडजॉर्न दे रहे हैं। 50 लोगों की मॉब लिंचिंग हुई है और लोग एक दहशत के माहौल में जी रहे हैं। सदन में हम चर्चा नहीं करेंगे तो कहां करेंगे?
पहले दिन से हर तरीके के चर्चा के लिए सरकार तैयार है। जो एट्रोसिटीज के बारे में, किलिंग्स के बारे में, लिंचिंग के बारे में और जो पॉलिटिकल किलिंग्स हो रहा है, उन सारे विषयों के बारे में कई मेंबर्स 193 का नोटिस दिया हुआ है और उसके बारे में भी मैंने बार बार खड़ा होकर के यहाँ पूरा सदन को बताया और आपको भी निवेदन किया। इसके बारे में भी हम पूरा चर्चा करने के लिए, बहस करने के लिए तैयार हैं।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi today inaugurated a memorial dedicated to former President APJ Abdul Kalam in Rameshwaram. Speaking on the occasion, he urged the people to work together to fulfill Kalam's dream of seeing a developed India.
On the second death anniversary of People's President and Missile Man, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated a memorial at Kalam's birthplace at Pekarumbu near Rameshwaram. The memorial is built at a cost of 15 crore rupees on land allotted by the Tamil Nadu government at Kalam's village. Modi paid floral tributes to Kalam at his Samadhi inside the memorial, which is built by the Defence Research and Development Organisation, where Dr. Kalam worked for decades. Paying rich tributes, the Prime Minister said, the former President continues to inspire crores of countrymen.
अब्दुल कलाम जी के रूप में एक कर्मयोगी वैज्ञानिक, एक प्रेरक शिक्षक, एक प्रखर विचारक और एक महान राष्ट्रपति इस देश को देने के लिए रामेश्वरम जाना जाएगा. In his action and thoughts, Dr. Kalam always reflected the simplicity, depth and calmness of Rameshwaram.
With unity in diversity as its theme, the memorial features quotes of Dr. Kalam and pictures of him as a scientist and the President of India. It also has around 900 paintings and 200 rare photographs of the late scientist who was India's president from 2002 to 2007. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
The Centre on Thursday told Supreme Court that privacy should not be treated as a fundamental right as it has many facets. Attorney General K.K. Venugopal said that informational privacy could not be a right to privacy and could not ever be a fundamental right. He also stressed that there were measures restricting the sharing of Aadhaar-related data. On Wednesday, the Centre told the Supreme Court that privacy is a fundamental right, but one that is not absolute. The court had asked the AG the difference between the right to privacy being considered a common law and a fundamental right. He said that the common law right could be enforced by filing a civil lawsuit, and if it was considered a fundamental right, the court could enforce it like any other writ. Here are more updates from across the country now in Nationwide. Himachal Pradesh Chief Minister Veerbhadra Singh appeared before CBI court in Delhi today in connection with a disproportionate assets case filed against him. He was accompanied by his wife. The CBI had filed a charge sheet against Singh, his wife and 7 others for allegedly accumulating assets of over 10 crore rupees disproportionate to his known sources of income in March. High tension prevailed in Kannur, about 15 kilometers from Coimbatore International Airport on Thursday, when the police arrested DMK working president M.K. Stalin and 100 other DMK workers. Stalin was proceeding to Salem, where he had planned to visit Karyacharan Lake in Chief Minister Panisami's constituency. Desilting by farmers at the lake had triggered a clash between DMK and AIDMK functionaries recently. The police feared Stalin's visit will worsen the situation. Former Karnataka Chief Minister N. Dharam Singh died of a massive heart attack at a private hospital in Bengaluru today. Ailing for the last few months, Singh fainted at his home and was rushed to hospital where he was declared dead. Singh headed the Congress-JDS coalition government from 2004 to 2006. Prime Minister Narendra Modi condoled Singh's demise, saying that his dedicated service towards society will always be remembered. International news now, and Muslim leaders have lifted a boycott of Jerusalem's Al-Aqsa Mosque on Thursday and asked worshippers to return to resume praying inside the mosque. This came after Israel agreed to remove all security measures installed at the holy site after an attack in the Old City earlier this month sparked violence. Here are more details.
The last remnants of Israel's recently installed security apparatus being taken away early Thursday morning. All security infrastructure it had put in place at entrances to the mosque compound in Jerusalem's Old City were removed, taking a further step to try to diffuse heightened political and religious tension. Soon after, Muslim leaders announced their decision to ask Palestinians to re-enter the Al-Aqsa compound for the first time since the crisis erupted 2 weeks ago.
نحن اطلعنا على تقرير اللجنة الفنية وأكدت بأن ما وضعه الاحتلال من معيقات خارج بوابات المسجد الأقصى المبارك والطرق المؤدية إليه قد أزيلت، وهذا نصر لأبناء شعبنا وللجهود التي بذلت.
Palestinians had fiercely objected to the security measures introduced, which included metal detectors at the entry gates after the killing of 2 Israeli policemen on July 14th. Worshippers had refrained from entering the old city complex known to Muslims as Haram al-Sharif and to Jews as the Temple Mount in protest over what they saw as an Israeli attempt to exert control over the contested site. Mass prayer gatherings were held in the street outside the old city walls, and clashes between Israeli security forces and demonstrators killed 4 Palestinians and 3 Israeli civilians. This attracted international concern, and soon Israel removed the metal gates. But Palestinians refused to end the boycott until all security measures were removed.
احتلال إسرائيلي غاشم حاول بأن يكسر إرادة هذا الشعب الفلسطيني أبناء القدس بشكل خاص. كانت وقفتهم مشرفة، ونريد بأن تبقى هذه الوقفة دفاعا عن المسجد الأقصى المبارك خارج بوابات المسجد الأقصى المبارك، والآن إن شاء الله داخل بوابات المسجد الأقصى المبارك.
الحمد لله رب العالمين، يعني إنه هذا نصر من عند الله، وإن شاء الله قبل ما كل القدس وكل فلسطين تتحرر إن شاء الله.
Israel still maintains that the security measures were necessary because the weapons used to kill the police personnel on July 14th had been smuggled onto the compound. It has said it will introduce less obtrusive security measures over the next 6 months. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And here are more developments from across the world in Global Buzz. Hundreds of people gathered in San Francisco, California to protest against US President Donald Trump's plan to ban transgender people from the US military. Trump said that transgenders will not serve in the US military in any capacity, asserting that their service would bring tremendous medical costs and disruption. Ex-Georgian President Mikhail Saakashvili said that he would fight Kiev's decision to strip him of his Ukrainian citizenship. Ukrainian President Petro Poroshenko stripped the one-time ally Saakashvili of his Ukrainian citizenship for allegedly providing false information on his citizenship registration form in 2015. The United States imposed sanctions on 13 current and former Venezuelan officials to force President Nicolas Maduro to abandon his plans to elect a body to rewrite the constitution. Opposition activists launched a 48-hour strike in protest against an upcoming vote that they say will mark the end of democracy. Recent flooding in western Germany eased after heavy rain stopped in Hildesheim, south of Hanover, and in Gorsal in the Harz region. Local officials said that water levels of the Inner Seine River that briefly rose overnight dropped a few hours later. That's all we have for you on the news at 6. Thank you for joining us.